The New England Patriots just got the best news of the season. Let's talk about it. My name is Aaron. This is Sports Talk Patriots on the daily, pushing out content people just like you who can't get enough Patriots football. So do me a favor before we get started, hit that subscribe button, like, and at some point, comment below. So today what we're going to be talking about, some good news coming out of Foxborough about some injuries as well. We're going to be talking about the game coming up against the Houston Texans and some bold predictions that some writers are making. And I think they're crazy. Some of them I believe, some of them not so much. So let's jump into it. The unbelievable news coming out of Foxborough. Gerard Mayo was asked about Christian Barmore and talking about his return. So this is huge. So basically he said, hey, is it possible that he could play this year? And he said, yes, he's been progressing. He has some checkpoints or hurdles, however you would like to say it, to get over, but he is progressing well. The follow-up question, Mayo was asked if there was a better chance he could play at some point this season than he had a few weeks ago, and he would say yes. So you might look at that and say, oh, that doesn't mean he's still going to play. But again, another big thing too is Christian Barmore, what kind of spurred this on was he tweeted a simple hourglass, basically saying his time is coming. So there had been a ton of speculations on Christian Barmore's return, and this would be huge for the New England Patriots. Now, I know that defensively, the Patriots, that hasn't been their biggest struggle, but you have to admit on the defensive side of the ball, if you have a beast like Christian Barmore back on that interior defensive line, causing mayhem and just helping collapse that interior offensive line, it would be huge. Now we look at the numbers when it comes to the current defensive tackles, and again, they're just not putting up the numbers that we know Christian Barmore could put. And we know that Christian Barmore, we look at his time last year in the 2023 season, he had 8.5 sacks, which for some we might think, oh, well, that's not that great. But for an interior defensive lineman, that is incredibly impressive. So again, it's much more than just those necessary statistics, but it's also being able to cause just mayhem in the run game, run blocking, all those different things, which he can do. So I think this would be astronomical. This would be huge for the New England Patriots if they got Christian Barmore back before the end of the season. The sooner, the better. Again, I know a lot of people are like, well, what about offense? What about offense? What about offense? Yes, I agree. But again, I think these little boosts for the New England Patriots would be big for them. And again, too, you got to look at this defense has done all right. They've gone up against some teams where they've held them to very few points. When you look at a National Football League game, they've done pretty well. But again, I think Christian Barmore would add a lot more to that defense. I honestly think in reality that defensive line is going to make everything else on the defense look better. Same with the offense. You look at the offensive line, if they're doing a good job, they make everyone else look better. So I think it goes from there and shows, hey, he's going to help in the secondary, alleviate some stuff in there, getting pressure as well in the run game, all these different things. So I think it would be huge. We all know he had the blood clots. And so, again, I had said many times I didn't think he was going to come back this season, but I think it is looking better and better as the days go on. So that is awesome news for the New England Patriots. As well, we look at Cole Strange. There's a possibility that he is looking better. So Gerard Mayo was asked about this as well. So he said 100% about Strange, a look at center. I mean, any of those interior spots, he can play guard, he can play center, and we have to get the best person out there. I think he has the ability, the physical tools to be able to do so. I know a lot of people have dogged on Cole Strange. He's been injured. I think people have been frustrated with the draft pick in 2022. But again, I think he still has potential if he can get out there and can play. Obviously, the Patriots saw something in him. The Belichick era saw something in him, and there was a reason they took him in the first round. And so I think giving him a chance, again, look at this offensive line. I think he's going to do a better job than not Mike Onwenu. I think Mike Onwenu, I'm glad he's playing guard now, but Nick Leverett at center, I wouldn't be necessarily opposed to that. Michael Jordan at the other guard, wouldn't be opposed to that either. But again, I do think this offensive line is getting better, which is pretty wild to think. You take Jacoby out and you put Drake May in as the line is kind of, in my opinion, in ways starting to hit that upward trend as opposed to you look at the time with Jacoby where it was a dumpster fire. It was rough. So again, what do you guys think about these returns? Christian Barmore, are you buying that stock? In Cole Strange, are you buying that stock? Or the opposite? Are you selling? Not interested in? Don't think it's going to make a huge impact? Comment below. I want to hear from you guys. As well, just on the David Andrews injury front, doesn't look great for his Patriots future. Again, he's an older guy. I think it would be smart for him, honestly, to think of retiring. I hate saying that, but again, it would probably be the smart thing to do after a significant injury like this. But I think that comes to as no surprise to anyone else. And then we just jump in the end right here. We talk about some bold predictions. And this is interesting. I love just reading this stuff and kind of discussing it. But one of the big things, we're going to jump right to Drake May. I was about to say Gerard Mayo. Gerard Mayo's not playing quarterback, Aaron. Come on now. It says right here first, May finishes with more rushing yards than yards lost to sacks. I could see that. Again, I think there's going to be times, and we need to expect this, that he's going to be flushed out of that pocket, but he is athletic. He can move much, much more so than Jacoby Brissett. So wait for that. I think that's actually not a bad prediction at all. Again, we look at this offensive line, Lowe, Jordan, Leverett, and Nwenu, and Jacobs. Jacobs still, honestly, I think when you look at offensive lines, I think he is, believe it or not, he would have ended up on someone's practice squad, most likely, if he would have been all the way back to Denver. But looking at Jacobs, that right now, based on the offensive line, that might have been one of the best pickups that we have made, which I know you're like, wow, that is setting the bar low. I agree. But he's had his moments where he hasn't been bad. So again, I think I'm buying stock on this offensive line. By no means am I saying they're even in the run-of-the-mill in the middle of the NFL when it comes to offensive line. I still think they're on that lower end as trending towards one of the worst offensive lines. But again, I don't know. They're making me feel a little more positive. Again, you're like, Aaron, how are you being so positive going into a Houston Texans game? I don't know. Maybe it's just a lot of news, a lot of good stuff, especially this Christian Barmore stuff and just being able to see Drake May. Next, Polk's Revenge. It says prediction, Polk scores 2 touchdowns. I know that Polk and Drake May have had some great connections in training camp. Is it a possibility? Yes, never going to rule that out, but I don't see that happening. And so maybe a touchdown, but 2, that would be a lot. Prediction, May completes the longest pass of the season for the Patriots. Yeah, that's not going to be that hard. I can see that. So when it comes down to it, I think these are some solid predictions. Other ones I'm not sure about. It did say Tank Dell getting 100 receiving yards. Yeah, that's a possibility. There's been some great wide receivers this year that have really sliced and diced the secondary for the Patriots. So it'll be interesting to see that. Again, before I take off, comment below, what do you think about the whole Christian Barmore? Do you actually believe in the hype that he's going to come back? Do you not really care? What about Cole Strange? Again, comment below. I want to hear from you guys. Tomorrow, be prepared. Video coming out. We're going to be talking about the game on Sunday and some other news from Foxborough. So that being said, I appreciate you guys. The Sports Talk Patriots. On your way out, pound that subscribe button, hit that like button, and we'll talk to you later. Peace.